Hi, welcome back to English 111 Online. This week we are going to continue to talk about rhetorical devices, and I'm going to introduce you to our Core Project 1 essay, which is the rhetorical analysis. So this week, view my video, which you're doing now, and then view the video on how to get feedback from Turnitin. I made some comments on your introduction paragraphs, and so you'll if you just look at that video, and it's right here under the regular weekly video, if you'll just click on that image and watch that, it'll show you how to get feedback from a Turnitin assignment. And we're going to have quite a few Turnitin assignments over the semester, so be sure that you know how to do that. The feedback is more important for you, or I think in the long run for you, than the actual grade that you got. So I know that's hard for you to believe, and you want it to be the grade matters most, and I understand that too. But please don't overlook the feedback that I give you, the comments. They're little mini lessons that you can look at and see where you made errors, and hopefully keep you from making those same errors in the future. Okay, so view the document on MLA formatting, and we'll look at that in just a minute. View the sample essay in MLA format. I wrote an essay, and it's not the greatest essay in the world, but it's a good illustration of what an MLA essay looks like, and I have made points throughout it showing you what I expect from an essay. View the Core Project 1 assignment document, and it's not due yet, but you probably want to read ahead on the essays and mentioned in the document. You'll only write on one of the three reading assignments, but you definitely want to read at least some of all three of them to pick one of them for the essay. And you'll and then the rough draft will be due, and I put February 24th. I'm going to go back and change that. That will be the, no, February 24th is right. I guess I need to change it somewhere else anyway. February 24th, and then on March 3rd, the final will be due. So we'll be working on it, looking at rhetorical devices this week, and then you'll be working on your rough draft next week, and then the week after that, your final will be due for that. And this is a big grade because it counts 10% of your grade. Read How to Do Gender. It is in the Rereading America. I put a copy of the document if you still don't have your textbook yet, but you need to go ahead and get your textbook if you don't have it. Look for the rhetorical devices used to help make the author's point in the essay, just as you did on your journal for Lean In. We're going to do this again because you need practice at what you're looking for before you're going to be able to start writing about the essay that you choose from the three that I give you on the document. And view the documents about commas for more information before you work on the inquisitive assignments for this week. I realized as I was looking at the inquisitive assignments that I gave you comma splices because they tied in so well with the fused sentences. And but if the inquisitive assignments are due by a certain date, and then it won't let you work on them anymore. But that I changed the date on comma splices to the 17th so that you have until Sunday night to do those if you want to go back and look at those again, because I think commas are really important. All right, graded assignments this week. After reading How to Do Gender, complete the journal for rhetorical devices, and then work on your inquisitive assignments on commas, including going back to comma splices if you didn't do too well on it. If you did, then it's no problem. All right, here is the little video that explains how to get feedback on a Turnitin assignment. I had a student a couple of semesters ago, maybe even longer ago than that, but she allowed me to use her as an example to show what feedback looks like and how you can get your feedback. All right, here's one of the things to read, to view. This is a slideshow presentation on writing an essay. I actually believe it's the same slideshow presentation that you had last week. No, let's don't do that. So anyway, but I put it up there again so that you can see, and it'll reinforce some of the things that in the slideshow presentation from last week. So if you've already read that, I looked at that, and you pretty much understand how an essay is put together, then you don't need to do it again. But it's always good to go back and review if you want to. All right, basic MLA format. Here's a document for that. It tells you 12 Times New Roman, 12-point font, double line spacing, 1-inch margins all around. And I prefer, again, if you'll write in a Google Doc, because it automatically saves, and as long as you have internet access, you can get back to it. And believe me, it comes in really handy sometimes. All right, so and here is the sample essay in MLA format. I wrote it just as a sort of reader response. It is not a rhetorical analysis, I'll tell you that, but it is an essay that I wrote regarding girl, which is the first reading in our textbook in Chapter 5, right before doing gender, which is what I'm going to ask you to do, this week for your assignment. So, but I just want to point out, it is in correct MLA format, so you can see that it has the header up here at the top. You're adding the page number and then adding your name. Then the heading that goes on the first page, Debbie Lee, Professor Lee, D. Lee, whatever you want to put for my name, the course name, and then the current date. So you can see I did this essay back in September last semester. All right, and so here is the title, A Woman's Power in Jamaica Kincaid's Girl. And then you want to use something to get a hook to get your reader's attention and draw you into the essay. So here's my hook. I used a quotation from the actual essay, Girl, because the young woman is told to walk like a lady and not like the slut you are so bent on becoming. Now that grabbed my attention because, and if you actually want to read Girl, you'll see that she repeats that phrase very often. And repetition, by the way, is a rhetorical device. And then you narrow that down to the thesis statement, which is the point that you want to make. So, in spite of all the advice that is given to young females about how to fit into the society as proper young ladies, it is implied that there are certain kinds of power that young women have if they just realize it. Now, that's my thesis statement. That's the point that I want to make in this essay. And then, I'm not going to read this whole essay to you, but then your topic sentence for your paragraph. So we had an exercise to do last week about using a topic sentence and then putting some facts into the paragraph after the topic sentence. And so every essay is done this way. Your thesis statement last, and then your body paragraphs that back up your thesis statement. One kind of power young women have is they can take care of themselves independently if that is their choice. And I marked that topic sentence. And then I gave textual evidence, and I put my own commentary in it. Another kind of power is she can present herself in ways that reflect the image she wants others to have of her. Another topic sentence. Transition words, another kind of power. The first one was one kind of power. And then a third kind of power. This is my third body paragraph. Always start with your topic sentence to let your reader know what you're going to write about. And then you give your textual evidence and your commentary. And then your conclusion, you restate the thesis, which is not word for word, but in another way. Thus, in Jamaica Kincaid's Girl, the narrator explains how the young woman has much power in a society that doesn't seem to afford her much control. And then end with a statement that is opposite of a hook. It's just something to give them to think about, something to broaden out the paragraph. With all of this advice, if taken to heart, the girl will be able to cope in her culture with the most authority she can muster. And so there you go for the sample essay. Okay, and that again, that was, one last thing. Sample essay back here. And then on a separate page is your works cited page. If you enter at the end of your text, if you enter or insert a page break, it automatically takes you to the next page. And notice the numbering still continues, Lee 4 here. And then it's title works cited, and then this is the proper citation for an essay from our text. And so there it is. And so when you write on the essay of your choice for your rhetorical essay, you'll go back to this format right here. In fact, if you can copy and paste it if you want to, and then just change the parts that need to relate to your essay instead of to that essay in that sample. There's another sample MLA formatted essay, and that's, you can look at that if you want to, if you need to. There are several documents here about commas, so you can look at those for more information if you want to. Also, in your Little Seagull Handbook, just read the section on commas. It's not very long. You'll probably get more information out of these documents, but the exercises in the Little Seagull or the Inquisitive are related to that particular book. So Little Seagull Handbook explanation goes with the exercises in Inquisitive. Okay, so I also give you the document for the rhetorical analysis essay. We'll do some activities with it along the way, but the final will not be due until March 3rd. But we need to go ahead and understand what we're doing with rhetorical devices before we're ready to write the rough draft, which will be next week. You'll write the rough draft next week. Okay, so I'll pull that document up. This is every English 111 student this semester is getting this same assignment. So you'll be doing this along with hundreds of others. But we're doing that because we want to see overall what English 111 students are good at and what they need more work on. And so it's kind of a common assessment for all of us. It is an essay. You'll choose from the text listed below, and you will, it says must be cited multiple times. You will use information from those essays in your essay that you're writing. MLA format, 2+ pages. That means a little bit over onto the third page, and it will meet the requirements of the length. However, if you do it the way I ask you to do it, put the information into it the way I ask you to do, then you'll meet that page length with no problem at all. All right, and then the due dates, I've got due dates. We'll submit the rough draft to Smart Thinking and get some feedback from them, and I'll show you how to do that next week. You can also go to the English studio if you have time, if you can be on campus to do that. But Smart Thinking is an online source that everybody can access. It doesn't cost anything, and so we'll talk more about that next week. And I have due dates on here for, I have 2 hybrid sections and 2 online sections of English 111, so I've got dates for everybody on here, but ours are right here at the end. At the end of each one, let's see, the rough draft for us, see right here it says February 23rd online sections. And then the final is March 3rd online sections. And actually, like I said a while ago, might as well fix it while I see it. It's the 24th, not the 23rd. Okay. So here's a task, a rhetorical analysis of a close examination of how an author uses word choice, form, supporting evidence, and rhetorical techniques to achieve a certain tone and purpose. For this assignment, you will compose a rhetorical analysis essay that identifies and analyzes the effectiveness of an author's specific rhetorical strategies in one of the texts listed below. And so must include a thesis statement that makes a claim. And we're going to talk more about that when we get to the rough draft next week. But I think the information that you've already received about how to write an essay is good also. So you already kind of have an idea of that. All right, here are the 3 text choices. When should a child be taken from his parents? Education, attentional disarray, and serving in Florida. And that one, I thought that really grabbed my attention. Serving in Florida, interesting essay. All right, additional guidelines include an introduction that provides an overview. Body paragraph should begin with a topic sentence. Paragraph should include supporting evidence that relates to the main idea of that paragraph. Supporting evidence should be integrated using the quote sandwich. I'll talk more about that too next week. And then your essay should maintain an academic tone. Avoid statements such as I think or I believe or I feel. Also avoid self-referential statements like this essay will be about, or my first supporting detail is, or this quote here says so-and-so. All of those things do not create academic tone. Check your grammar, punctuation, and formatting, and if we review these rules in class and inquisitive, you know, I expect you to know them, not just be able to do well on the activities, but also apply it to your writing. So what to submit, final draft or turn it in link on the Moodle page, and get feedback from the English Studio or Smart Thinking as a journal entry, and see the dates due in the assignment snapshot at the top of the page. Okay, so that is something that you may want to go ahead and look ahead to and start making a choice. But so it'll be easier if you go ahead and make a choice now, so that we can start, so that what I say next week will make more sense. You'll have an idea of what I'm asking you to look for. All right, read now here's what we're getting a grade on for this week. Read How to Do Gender, page 480 to 492. Note the rhetorical devices you find in the journal for rhetorical devices, How to Do Gender. And in case you don't have a copy of Rereading America yet, you need to go ahead and get that, because we're going to do a lot of work in that book. But How to Do Gender, there's a document that I just put on there with the reading for this week. Here's the graded assignment, rhetorical devices and how to do gender. If you click on that, of course, you know that you'll be able to start or edit your journal there. After reading How to Do Gender, note any rhetorical devices you recognized, just like you did with Lean In, If you don't know the proper name for it, that's fine. Still note what you recognize that the author uses to convince readers of the point of the essay. And after I get a chance to go back and look at the your journals from last week, like I said, I have 4 classes of English 111 and 2 classes of English 114. So I work very hard, but I don't get them done as immediately as I would like or as you would like. But when I go back and look at those from last week, look at my feedback and what I say. Because I might give you a name for something that you've already had an idea of what it is, but not what the proper language is to call it. And there's also this glossary of rhetorical devices, which was on last week, but it's also on this week, so that you can find, take a look at those again and see. We definitely have seen anecdote, because in Lean In, she started with a little short paragraph. I mean, a little short story. Now, hers went on for a while, but it's usually like a paragraph, or sometimes it's just a little couple of sentences of the beginning of a story, and then people will finish it and refer back to it in the conclusion. But that is called an anecdote. You can look at the connotation and the denotation of words. Like denotation, of course, is what the dictionary meaning is, but connotation is the contextual meaning. How is the author using it in the context of what she's saying? And so sometimes it can mean something entirely different based on the context. Diction is just the word choice. So you can talk about the diction and the denotation and the connotation of words as you see those. So I'm not going to read all of these to you. Anything that I have found in working with the various reading assignments that I have been working with all my courses, I've highlighted them, so you can see what I'm talking about there. The inquisitives, I went back, as you can see, comma splices, I extended the deadline on that in case you didn't do as well and you wanted to go back. It looks like more fused and run-on sentences had a lower grade there, but anyway. Omitted commas and unnecessary commas, I have added to the commas that are due this week. So have a great week. Do your reading. Find your I lost my middle page. Anyway, find your the rhetorical devices in doing gender, and then if you have any questions or you need my help with something during the week, please contact me and let me know, and I will be glad to help you. And if you want to go ahead and begin looking at these choice of essays that you have for this assignment, I definitely recommend that you go ahead and start looking ahead at that. It'll make it easier for you in the long run. You had a lot of assignments last week. You don't have as many to do this week. But it is based on a reading, and you will need to read the whole thing and find as many rhetorical devices as you can. And next week we'll talk about how to, for your choice for the essay, how to put it all together. So contact me if you need me, and I will see you next time.